basics. It's really twice as hard, and it's never as good. It's you just don't get it as well. So first time through is the best time. Cold turkey like this, the worst time. For me, because I don't know what to expect here. I have no idea. And I just know the dog has not sit very well since we've been here. And so in our world, it's real important. But sit means, when you say sit, I expect them to sit. And the dogs I've seen in the seminar, they just train different than me. It's not right. I'm not saying I'm right and they're wrong, but I think I'm right here. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Because it's like watching somebody rake their fingers on the chalkboard for a dog not to sit, for me. So we spend a lot of time doing what we think is real important. And we use so much indirect pressure, and we use so much pressure with sit as your indirect because that's the easiest command to enforce at a distance. One of the biggest reasons. You can't have a dog who's going to cheat the water and tell him over and force him. That doesn't work very well. But by blowing indirect and blowing sit, he gets the idea, you put some pressure on him, and now he does the next command. The other thing I don't like when they feel pressure, they just react. Like Cole Burns, Mike said he never does it. But some people nowadays will just burn them going down the shoreline and expect the dog to jump in. I want him to change his behavior when I give him pressure and do what I tell him to do. I don't want a knee-jerk reaction. If I tell him get in the water, I want him to get in the water. If he's going the wrong way, I want him to change. But the main thing I want him to do is change behavior. So he understands, he gets pressure, stop doing whatever he's doing. And as long as he's trying, I'm good with him. It's when he keeps making the same mistake over and over. If he's conditioned, hopefully, he will change his behavior. Now, where this fits in with what we're doing here and what our clinic is I see a lot of attrition. And so people will be running a blind, and they'll stop a dog, and he doesn't cast, so they tweet him in. I prefer to blow a sit whistle and nick him. I'll give him a chance, just like Mike. But if I nick him, I expect him to change there. I don't want to have to drag him in. I want the change in behavior to be because of the pressure, not because I'm dragging him in. I think that can get a lot of bad habits going. I think they can get them coming home, and you see some dogs here that stop and they just automatically come in. I don't like that. I like when I tell him, he changes. Not a perfect world. They don't do it every time. And sometimes we're forced because we can't get it. You can't just keep there and keep burning the dog. You obviously can't do that. So sometimes you have to resort to that. And we use as low intensity as we can with the dog to make him respond. And the dogs have different levels of toughness. So, but I like when I introduce a dog, I like to get some kind of reaction, so I know that he's getting the message, and then I'll go down from there. But then as I train the dog, I try to train him with the least amount of intensity as I can. And then there's some dogs, we got dogs like Mike's, we don't burn much, and we got dogs that you have to stay on. That's just the way it is. I'm going to work again. Heel. That's okay. I wear a holster every day, and I almost dropped the transmitter putting it in. Sit. Heel. Get now. Heel. Sit. Heel. Heel. Sit. 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 No. Back up. Sit. I don't want him to back up when I tell him. I want him to sit. And Lars consciously worked on the backing up quite a bit, so I assume this word. Heel. That's it. Heel. Heel. Sit. Sit. Good. Sit. 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 Heel. And I'm not going to just wade into him. I'm going to get to know him a little bit here. Heel. Heel. Sit. Sit. Now, I think the key to teaching this stuff in the beginning, and Mike talking about floppy sits, I think one of the reasons Judy gets these great sits is she's really has great timing, and when she gives that command, and you're teaching sit, and you're teaching sit with a collar, you have to make it, I mean, he understands the words, and he knows how to sit, because you want to teach, now we're going to reinforce it with some pressure. Well, one of the reasons I think she does it is because her timing is so great. I mean, she says sit, and he, boom, on the ground now, and I mean on the ground, with the collar, with this collar, with the choke collar. And then when she reinforces it with the other collar, he's so great at sitting. As soon as he feels pressure, he sits, and he'll sit through the pressure. Our dogs, when you burn them, they won't jump off, they won't run from the electricity. Laura, what do you normally use on him? Sit. That's better. Sit. Heel. Heel. Now I'm going to risk it a little bit and go up to a 5. Make sure I get a heel. Heel. Sit. Sit. Now I made a mistake there. I raised my voice. I think you should keep your voice as level as you can. Sit. Sit. Maybe a little bit of elevation, but not sit. Sit. I don't like that. Heel. Sit. Good boy. Sit. Heel. Heel. I've burned him twice, and I'm not going to give him free one this time. Sit. That's better. See, it's getting a little better. He's not moving back on me. When I say sit, he's sitting straight there. Sit. He'll move till I tell him he can move. And I think it's good to touch him during these times too, just to kind of just let them know that you're okay, they're okay. You just sit. Heel. Heel. Sit. Atta boy. Sit. Okay, now we give him a little pressure again here, just because we're rushing this a little. Heel. Sit. Now that was continuous with a medium 5, and I'm holding it down a little bit because I don't want to just nick him and kind of he jump. I want him to sit on the pressure. Now this time I'm going to push it a little bit. I'm going to walk forward, and I'm going to give him the command, and I'm going to continue taking a couple of steps. Yep. And just to see what his response is to the pressure here. And I am going to use pressure. Sit. Sit. It's better. Sit. Okay. I'm going to pep it up a little bit. Sit. See how good that was? It was pretty quick and no pressure. Because I'm getting my timing right, and he's understanding the message here a little bit. Heel. Heel. Sit. A little slow there, I thought. And I didn't pull. So the next time I will pull, and I will use pressure. Heel. Heel. Sit. I want to be able to move and him not move. So if I'm running this dog on line, knowing his behavior, if I step up, I don't want him moving. I want him to sit. The last command he heard. Heel. Okay. Okay. Heel. Better. I'm going to put pressure a little more. Sit. I'm going to go this time, and I'm going to keep walking. And I'm going to use pressure. I don't want to chance it yet. Heel. Heel. Sit. See how crisp he's getting? I mean, see his response getting better and better now. I don't know, Laura, do you do this? So you do all this, but then you don't enforce it online. See, that would be the difference.
Wait a minute.
Well, you might, but she hasn't. I don't think she's enforced
Oh, you mean Laura?
Yes.
Oh, well, that may be, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But put it this way, she may have a lot more than we ever realize, and is just not able to, I mean...
Absolutely. There may be so much dog here, you know what I'm saying? That you just...
I mean, you're
they
doing...
go to field trials and they get them come unglued.
What you do is exactly what we do in the yard, more or less. Maybe you went to a higher level quicker
Right.
than I would have, but this was for the sake of illustration with a dog that already has a problem. You're not doing anything. I mean, I think everything you're doing is exactly what we would do.
Probably. I don't know where all you get your yard dogs from, but I get them from everywhere. They're not real thorough. I mean, I do it really for a bit, so I know that they're really sitting tight. Now, I told you, go to the field trial. I got dogs. I mean, they're not stupid. They get to field trial, they get excited, they're birdie. But this is the kind of stuff I would do with this dog. But when I walked up on that line, I would follow through with this stuff. Or if I ran this dog, he would sit.
Well, I don't doubt that Laura hasn't done that.
And I thought I had him sitting for a while and it fell apart.
Yeah, but okay, the other side of that would be you made him sit here. I would make him sit everywhere. I mean, I don't think he's sitting hard here. I think he's all excited. Hey, some of that's just his desire and birdiness, and you're not going to get rid of that. But when I didn't think he sat every time, and I didn't think he sat down hard. So that would mean a lot to me. That would be very important to me, training this dog. We're training most dogs. Some dogs, it ain't going to matter. But a dog like this, he probably is, and a dog like Rex is the other one. Same kind of deal. Kid might come out here and perform perfectly. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm not saying this one wouldn't. But when I first told him to sit here, he wanted to back up. So I don't want him to back up. I want him to sit. And then I'll get him to back up when I teach him to back up, but he was backing up just on me in general. Now, maybe that's where he's comfortable, because that's where you want him, is backing up on you. But I'm sure it looks the same, but doesn't look the same there to me. And I could be all wrong. I could have had this dog, and he'd be wild as a March hare too. I just never had one that I did in the yard myself, or that Judy did, and that's the only two programs I know, that was wild as a March hare when we get in it. And I don't think we were just lucky. I think it's a big deal with us. Does that make sense? What you say, Mike?
Wayne asks, what dictates the duration of your session?
Just the dog. I mean, as long as I don't run out of dog, I would stay with this dog for a while. I might do this 15, 20 minutes. And if the dog gets tired and gets bored and I run out of dog, I quit. I try to read him. Go ahead.
I have a question. Okay, so you've done this with this dog.
Correct.
How do you feel this dog would react to you if you come up and run it on marks?
I'd love to do it. So I don't know. But I think he would sit. But maybe he wouldn't.
I mean, have you done enough?
Not, I don't think, probably not. But it would just be fun to try. But I don't think he's going to come out of the hold'em line, excuse me, mister, I'm going to be sorry. I will never do this to you. Hell no. I'm not stupid. But he's going to come out of the hold'em line wound up. The only thing that I would say, that I would demand out of him is that he sit down and he stay seated.
Okay, then in the morning before our next set of marks, could you do this for just a minute more and then go to line and let us see?
I would love
to. We're going to do something else instead.
Oh. Okay, so we just got fired. Go ahead.
So my basic philosophy about problem solving, and this is a problem because this is interfering with his everyday training, is to first go to the yard and teach a new standard. That's what he's doing. First you go to the yard, teach and enforce a new standard.
Sure.
So ideally you'd do it for a couple days, but we're only here
a week.
We're here for a couple days only. So what we're going to do is I want to go to the next step right now. For us,
Okay.
that is, we don't just go start running triples now. We go to what we call a steadiness drill. We create an environment of repetition where he can continue to
That would be
use
great.
the standard that he just had. So, Pat, I'd like you to send one of your guys out to just the side of that hill with a bag of birds and a boom tube. And Danny is going to now enforce the standard that he just taught in a higher amped environment.
I think that's great.
And if you need to, we can always throw a bumper down in the water here to cool him down.
Doesn't matter. I think I need to come out of the holding blind with him the whole,
That'd be fine.
whole 9 yards.
Yep.
With the example that you've just shown us, my experience is then all of a sudden you'll start getting the leg and the heel because the dog's trying to enter.
Well, sure they do. They're not. Yeah.
So what I'd like to ask you is, what do you do about that?
Well, see, when we do it in the yard, and that's a good question. In other words, when you're doing basics and you're doing the yard, and you start enforcing the sits with the burn, dog starts lagging behind. So you just teach him to hear with the collar too. So they kind of go together. Heel.
Danny, when
Yes.
you first took the dog out and you told him to heel, he immediately wheeled around and looked for birds towards the water
Okay.
when you told him to sit.
Okay.
So does that mean he's been conditioned to look for birds when you say sit?
No, I think he's just birdie, and he thinks he's somewhere where we're going to throw some. He's had a lot of birds here, and he's going to think, yes. Well, pitch collar's easy on me because I'm old.
If you had bumpers handy, we'd use
It's just
bumpers.
easier, but he's been easy. He's not. But some of these guys are not. When you start trying to enforce this, they really come unglued a little bit. And so you gotta have a way, whether it's a choke collar or pinch collar, to enforce the command. Physically enforce the command. Even though he knows it, you gotta make it happen. So it happens and the pressure happens at the same time. Yes, sir.
I've got a dog which I would say clams on sitting. He's by my side.
Uh-huh.
Have you had it on a blind too? He sits down.